it backs up automatically to the cloud.
Yeah.
So it's a very tricky thing.
For those men who like taking pictures of their bananas,
It goes to the cloud.
Just to zoom and see. Cheki bebu naona venye nimestunya. Nimejenga kujenga.
Eric, is that part of the reason you're working out? So that your Sierra Leone girlfriend.
I would never send a banana.
What is he working out? what is Barbara saying?
No, there are people who work out because of that.
But Barbara, we feel you, man, and you're right. We have a special guest in the building. I've shared this earlier. Mr. Bill Kasandas, who's literally walked into the building right now. Karibu sana, my brother.
Thank you so much.
Karibu sana, man. I feel like I've seen you so many times on other forums. I feel like I know you.
Yes.
Do you know I'm your friend on Instagram? I follow you.
Really, Emmanuel?
I didn't.
I follow you. I am one of the people who are those guys. The chick, who is this? Let me just accept. But who is this guy? I am one of those guys, brother.
Thank you
I
so
think
much.
I followed you sometime last year.
Thank you.
Yeah, I was like, hey, this guy is interesting. Bill Kasandas, we're here to talk about overcoming life's challenges. And this is the first time we're meeting mano a mano.
Yeah.
So I'm going to introduce myself. My name is Emmanuel. Right. This is Barbara.
Barbara.
Yes, Barbara. She's also the Duchess of Ecolomani.
Yes.
Oh.
Yes.
I come from Ecolomani.
Yes.
Wow.
There's another, as you're driving along the highway, there's a place with 2 shops. That's the place. And then,
Assume him.
And then this is Eric. Eric. We are the adults in the room. And the other member of this crew is called them Skilizaji.
Oh,
They
okay.
do.
Okay. Yeah, I can see.
Yes. So we are many.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for coming through, brother.
Thank you.
We're going to talk about overcoming life's challenges. And as usual, brother, just relax, feel free. We're the home of authentic conversation. Just express yourself.
Thank you.
This is a safe space.
Thank you.
Hapa hata tumebembeleza Emmanuel sana. Saa zile majozi yake imekuwa mengi. Hata siku nimempea t-shirt akajipuliza. Na anatoaga ile nini? Ile
on air.
Tulimbeba. Unajua siku juu ya jam saa we had a boda come. Apigwe na upepo. Hapa sasa tuko tu free.
Thank you.
So Eric, before we get into the conversation with our special guest, do you want to break down the hot topic?
Absolutely. So yes, we all have experienced challenges in our lives. Those times when you felt or still feel, I'm sure some of us still feel lost and have no idea how to keep moving forward. Perhaps it was a relationship, or it is a relationship, or a business, or maybe even life and death situation. So to share with us on ways to overcome life's challenges, we have Bill Kasandas, as Emmanuel had introduced. He's an adaptive athlete, digital marketer, and amputee. A warm welcome and thank you so much for finding time to come again, Bill.
Thank you.
Very quickly, who is Bill Kasandas?
Bill is just a Kenyan, an interesting Kenyan who's willing to try to live life to its full potential.
All right.
Yeah. I live with disability, but I try asking myself, what is disability? Yeah. And why do people ever consider themselves disabled? Yeah, so it's a mindset. And I try to challenge myself every day. Yeah, it's a journey. Life is a journey. You keep learning. You keep teaching yourself new stuff.
Yeah.
You learn from the people. You learn from experiences. But one thing I've discovered is it's never walk in the park. There are ups and downs.
Right.
There are failures. There are disappointments. And those are things that make life very interesting.
Absolutely.
You know Bill for them Skilizaji. But Skilizaji, you should go and check. You should go to
www, that is spicefm.co.ke.
He has the hands Eric desires in future after he finishes working.
Oh, he just started his journey.
Actually, Bill, we met. I'm
telling you, he's making me look so unfit with my flabby hands.
We were not introduced, but I think the first time I came in contact with you, we were working out together somewhere in the junction, I think.
Oh,
A few, maybe 2 years now, I think.
I think 2 years.
Yes. So that's where I saw you the first time.
Smart gyms.
Yeah.
Yes. Bill, you're a fitness, just before we get into your story, and he has a powerful story. You're a fitness and wellness coach.
Oh,
Yeah.
he is.
Yeah. What does a fitness and wellness coach do?
Just teaching people, trying to mentor and coach people to live their lives the best way they can in terms of the fitness journey. Wellness is all in, it's mental.
So is it 2 in 1? Do you coach like 2 in 1?
No.
Or it's separate?
You can't separate the two.
All right.
Yeah, physical fitness requires mental.
Oh.
Wellness, that's health. It's all it starts in the mind, then it transforms to the body. So yeah, you can't separate the two.
But it's interesting when you go to the gym, the instructor just helps you with the weights. Check it, 20. Aya, 20. Ta! Ta!
Is that what happened to you?
But it would be so interesting if you can combine both, like if it's part of the curriculum as you're joining the gym. Like you're told we're gonna work on your body,
Yes.
and we're also gonna work on your mind.
Yeah. So that's what I do. Apart from just encouraging or probably telling you, okay, you should lift this. This is what you need to do at the gym. I need to tell you what to accept. I need to prepare you mentally. Okay, this is the journey you're taking. And there are moments when you'll feel like giving up. When you feel like giving up, here's where you tap. Okay, if you feel like there's too much energy, how do you tone yourself down? It's a journey. At the end of the day, it needs to be a lifestyle. So it's health and wellness.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
No, I had a question for Bill, but I'm seeing we're about to go on a break, so I want to bring it
All right. That is brilliant,
Yes.
Barbara. You've done it like a boss. We're talking about overcoming life's challenges with our special guest, Bill Kasandas. We just want him to have some water and some of the cake.
Some
that
water.
that he has to take. Umepewa cake?
It's good luck.
Amekula fruits.
We'll be back. Let's listen to some Tony Braxton and then we'll be back.
96.1 Spike.
Tony Braxton featuring Trey Songz. Yesterday, I guess one of the favorites of one of our producers, Mr. Brian Ivusa. He loves this song, man. Mumbi, Brian loves this song, man. Bringing
Brian,
us to
wherever you
19 minutes. No, this song is always on the playlist. I think it's one of his personal favorites. But we love it too, here in the Adults in the Room. We love the music. We play for you soulful music that you thought you forgot. But we got you, man. We're going to play it for you hit after hit after hit, and you're going to enjoy it. We're also the home of authentic conversation. And in that regard, we talked to the president. And the president made a phone call to Bill Kasandas. Akamwambia afanye hivi. Enda tu.
Oh my.
Enda tu.
Is this what you do to your guests every day?
And he came through, man. Karibu sana, brother.
Thank you.
Barbara,
so
you had a
much.
question.
Yes, I had a question for Bill. Bill, I think I have been stalking or trolling you. As I'm not your friend, so I decided to get to know more about you.
Yeah.
And while reading it, I realized you're a man with an admirable attitude and determination. And I was wondering, where did you get all this? Or where did it come from based on on what happened to you?
And just before you answer Barbara's question, because it's a brilliant question, Barbara, you've asked. In fact, I had written here that one of the ways I described you here is Mr. Right Attitude.
Yes.
I actually wrote it here.
Yes.
The man with the right attitude.
Yes, for me, I was...
And I think to answer Barbara's question, because today we're talking about overcoming challenges. But if you could share your challenge, because there's something that you went through.
Yes.
When was it? 2015?
2015 October.
Yes.
Yeah.
For someone who's listening in for the first time and they've come through and are listening to you, they've never heard your story.
Yeah.
Like, what's the origin of this story?
So let's say couple of days or months before the day, which was 11th October 2015. I was living just a normal life, a normal guy. I was working for an NGO at that time. I had pretty much everything a 24-year-old would want. Yeah, I had the life I want. I had the toys a man would want. I had the attention from the girls. So I was living large. It was the life that so many would dream to have at 24. Then on this day, we were out having fun. It was on a Sunday. So we have a Superbike Association club here in Kenya. So they hold races. So on that day, that was the first race that year because the whole year we had never raced. So we were racing and I was one of the guys who was racing. That was my first race.
With Kina DJ Styles?
Yeah. Actually, I was in DJ's team.
All right.
Styles team. So in the same team. So I was in the 600cc category. Styles does 1000cc category. So
That
yeah.
is in terms of for a layman lady like me.
Ni kubwa. Ni bike kubwa.
Oh,
Yes.
So yeah, day started normal as any other. We had qualifications, and then we got to the evening. We were doing the finals. So we were only the three of us in the final. Me, then there's another guy called a guy, and then there's Gigi. The reason why this race was highly anticipated was because Gigi was the previous champion, and Paul was the guy who had never finished any race, but he was considered one of the most talented racer in Kenya.
Right.
Yes, and then Bill here was the rookie. I just joined the sport, and I was causing too much. I was just shaking the
Friction.
ground. Yeah, like guys were so scared of Mad Max. So Mad Max is my nickname.
Ulikuwa unatetemesha.
Yeah, alikuwa tetemesha. So that's why the race was so big to us, and all of us, the three of us, wanted to win, even though we've been friends. But this was one thing that we just wanted to win. So we started the race. It's a to and fro. You get to the end, you turn, then you come back. So whoever gets back first gets to be the winner.
So you just hit, you get the U-turn, then you come back.
Yeah, when you get there, they'll stop you, then they'll rearrange you according to how fast you got there.
All right.
Yeah. So started the race, got there fast. I got there fast. So when I got there fast, it actually it messed everything up. Now everybody was upping their game because coming back was the last chance.
And what are the speeds as you're going down?
Oh man, we were doing close to like 300, man.
300 kilometers
300
per hour.
Per hour, yeah.
That is hectic.
That is
Yes,
fast.
yes.
on a bike.
On a bike.
Siboda.
And how long is the stretch?
So the longest stretch was around 1.5. 1.5 kilometers
that's very
stretch.
fast.
Yes.
So meaning by the time you hit the end, you're
Yes.
already hitting the 300 kilometers.
Yeah, by the time you get to the middle of the 1.5
fast.
click, the bike is actually redlining at 300. So you're just there. Three.
And
Yes.
to turn.
No, you're going back.
That's intense.
So actually on that stretch, that long stretch, we were doing 300. So we were approaching the corner. And now when you're racing, when you brake last, you get to be the first.
That's unfair.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because when you brake last, you're while other guys are slowing down, you're still moving. Yes. So everybody was waiting for the rest of the guys to brake so that they brake last.
So it's like a science. It's
It's
competitive.
yes, it's science.
It's a technique, sorry.
It's a technique.
Yes.
So Paul was the one leading, then it was Gigi, then me. So I can see both of them. So for me, I just need to wait for them to brake, then I brake.
Yes.
Paul can't see any of us, so he has to play his cards right.
Yes.
Gigi can see Paul, but he can't see me.
you.
So when Paul braked, then Gigi braked, then I braked. While I was braking, I had already overtaken Gigi. So I was position 2. It's an S-curve. So S-curve is you 2 corners in one. You take the right-hander, then the left-hander. So did that. I took the right-hander safely. Transitioning on to the left-hander, it was actually descending ground. So by the time I was descending, the bike had picked up more speed.
No,
because you're going down here.
No, you're past 300.
No, you're slowing down. When you get to the corner, you slow down. Yeah, so we had slowed down. I think it's on the second corner, it's when I crashed. So the bike had picked up more speed and I couldn't negotiate the corner.
And these bikes are heavy bikes, right?
They're heavy, like 200 kgs.
200 kg plus the momentum.
Yes,
Like-
yes.
Yes. So it's 200 plus.
Yes, when it's moving, when that bike hits a car, it can slice the car into 2 pieces.
Yes, yeah, I've seen that
Yes.
on some documentary.
Yeah, so taking on the second corner, I lost control because the bike was moving too fast. I just let the bike go. So the bike was toppling, rolling in front of me, then I was sliding behind. So the bike hit a Pelican road sign, these bumps ahead. So it hit those signs, then I crashed onto that. So when I crashed onto that, I was thrown back to the road. Then I started spinning.
You crash
So it's like you
onto
bounced
the sign,
back.
Onto the sign.
and then you are now
Yes,
momentum threw you back.
I was thrown back.
Yes.
Then I'm back on the road. I'm spinning. And then Gigi's behind me. Coming so hot.
So Gigi crushed you?
No. No, he didn't crash me, but he was literally behind me.
Oh,
So he
okay.
managed to,
Just
So if-
circumvent.
yes, just he avoided me. And then by the time everything had happened, actually I was telling myself, I need to stand up so fast, get the bike and
Continue.
continue. These guys are not so far. So by the time everything had happened, when I was trying to stand up, I saw too much blood coming from my right foot.
Were you wearing the suit?
Yeah,
like
it was
the
a full
riding
suit.
suit.
Yeah, it's a proper full suit. It's a one-piece suit. So standing up, I could see blood, like just too much blood. Then I was like, okay, maybe there's something.
You're not in pain?
No,
Because of the adrenaline.
the adrenaline is too high. Imagine moving at 300. So the adrenaline, I can't feel anything.
So
at
your
that
mind
time.
is telling you need to wake up and
And
go
continue.
get
Yes,
your
I
bike.
need to get my bike. So by the time I'm trying to see where my bike is, I just see smoke and fire. Then I'm like, what's happening? Did somebody else crash? Because according to my imagination, mine is not worse. Yeah, I just felt like I just toppled. I need to pick my bike. So things happened too fast. Like the medics got there, then they started attending to me. By the time I think I didn't feel or experience anything else until the next thing I experienced was the doctor telling me, you've lost your foot.
Shame.
I think that news came with the pain.
When the doctor
'Cause the
told
pain
you.
hit
Yes,
you.
yes. So at that time, I think that adrenaline had gone down.
Yes. So you were feeling the pain.
yes,
and
I was
all
now
that.
feeling the pain. So I had dislocated my shoulder, and then I had broken my left leg. Then I had lost my right leg.
Oh my goodness.
So they told you by the time you're leaving the scene of the accident to the hospital.
Yes.
You get to hospital and you're told all this.
No, he was being
At
told
the
there
accident
on the-
At the
scene.
accident scene.
Yeah.
Or the medics were done
Yes.
telling you.
Me and my leg were two separate things. Like this is
So
me
they
and this.
removed
Yeah,
the-
yes.
the-
So when
the
they
suit.
unzipped the suit, when they cut it up, the leg just fell off.
Oh my word.
Yeah.
That was
You're such a
quite-
lunge. That's expression.
That is
So,
crazy.
so it just fell off. So the medics at the accident scene told me that they need to rush me to the hospital to put it back. Yeah, so they put me in the ambulance. Then we took off, heading to the hospital. Now, going to the hospital was, I think, the longest and the most painful experience I've ever come across.
Mentally, how are you feeling?
Ah,
Sorry,
man,
to
Barbara,
interrupt.
even before he answers that question, man, that is an interesting story because I think I'm imagining you were scraping on the tarmac at very high speeds for it to just sever your foot like that. We're gonna come back. We're hanging out with Bill Kasandas, and he's telling a story that is just, like I can see all this happening live, overcoming life's challenges. We'll be back before you can say Rumpelstiltskin.
96.1 Spice FM. Kisi.
Sleeping tips brought to you by Superphone. Get on a schedule. Did you know that going to bed around the same time each night, you will wake up at around the same time each morning? If you're a napper, limit the naps to one 30-minute nap a day. A nap any longer will cause you trouble falling asleep later that night. This message was brought to you by Superphone. Superphone. We are good in bed.
Welcome to Spice FM, the best exclusive radio station bringing you the best mix of the best music ever.
30 minutes to 9 o'clock. We are hanging out with Bill Kasandas, overcoming life's challenges, and Kasandas was just sharing his story. I don't know if you're hearing it out there, but this is a story that you need to tell a friend, to listen to, because it's an amazing story. So now you've your leg has been severed.
Yeah.
You're now dashing. You've been put in the ambulance, right?
We're now rushing
and you're
to the
being
hospital.
dashed to the hospital. You're saying the pain was.
Yeah, it's just too much. It's pain until you don't feel pain. Like I was actually having a conversation with those guys, like the medics. The medics were in shock. They didn't know what is happening because
They'd never seen that.
they'd never seen that. Like 1 second I'm screaming, then the next second I'm actually just chilled. I'm looking at them. Then the third second I'm actually asking them, "Do you know what I'm feeling?" Like it was so painful until you could chill.
You were in shock or numb.
No, I am experiencing everything. I'm experiencing everything.
That's intense.
Did you
I think
cry?
if I were you, I'd have fainted.
Yeah.
I think
you know these two are very weak. Let me tell you, they haven't told you the truth. This one would cry. This one with the heart of a chicken.
I think I'd ask for my mother.
I think I cried. I think I cried, I screamed, I did all those, but it was just too much. Until I just got to a point where I was just chilled. I was actually asking them. I was pointing my foot. You see, that's my foot right there.
Did it break from the knee or from the hip?
No, from slightly above the ankle. Yeah. Yes.
So you
That
could
is
see it
painful.
there. You're
Yeah, I
seeing
could
there.
So
see
they put
it.
it on the
I could
side
see
and
it.
you're lying here.
Yeah, it's
Feet
there.
somewhere.
So we are going to be reunited. So I could see it.
Good Lord.
It's there.
So what happened when you got to the hospital?
So we go to the hospital. Too much pain. The doctor started checking one, the second one, the third. I think by the time they go to the seventh doctor, then they all walked to me, and then they told me because of the nature of how the foot was disintegrated, they couldn't put it back. It wasn't a fine cut. It was a distorted. Ni kama viazi imepondwa.
Imepondwa,
Yes.
pondwa.
So they couldn't put it back. So they just told me,
And I've read that the human foot has a lot of bones.
yes,
Yeah.
lots of
Lots of
bones, and then they couldn't even figure out where the nerves are. Yes. So they just told me they can't put it back. They have to do surgery immediately to control the bleeding because I was losing too much blood.
Yes.
Just before Emmanuel again, you gave an interview and said that when they broke the news to you,
Yeah.
you wept uncontrollably because
Yes.
2 weeks to come, you
Yeah.
had plans with your girlfriend.
Yeah, actually, at that time when they told me about because of how the foot had disintegrated, they can't put it back. I started crying. Why? Because a week to it was my ex-girlfriend's birthday.
Oh, you're not
Mliachana, because my question was going to be kama bado mko na yeye.
Actually, I was about to. I was like, how is it? How are you two
Wewe
managing?
msichana ana huruma?
No,
Mtu
I-
aumie mguu hivyo na aende tena.
No, I think it's my fault.
All right.
Yeah, it's my fault.
You're a good man for warning up. A lot of us wouldn't. Check, imagine Eric venye umesema ni ukweli.
Aliniacha.
Nimeumia akaniacha jamaa.
No,
All right.
She stood by me all along. Couple of up until I got my prosthetic, up until I went back to work. But later on, depression caught up with me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, depression, anxiety, and then post-traumatic stress disorder. Then at that time, I didn't know myself. I started doing stupid stuff. I started disrespecting people who were there for me. I just
How long was that from the time you got the accident to when you realized you had a depression, or you were getting into state of depression?
I think I would say even a month after I'd started developing signs. Yeah. Because even before I got my prosthetic, there are times I was just irritable. I was angry with everyone.
Yeah, because I'm imagining.
Yeah.
Just,
You would, I would.
yesterday you had your both feet were
Yeah,
fine,
yes.
and then now today
Yeah.
you've been put in another place, and you don't know how to operate
Yes,
in that
yes,
other sphere.
yeah.
I think the best of us would get depressed.
Yeah,
Not even the best. I think most of us.
In fact, there's some itty bits which I need people to hear. You were in surgery. You did 2 surgeries.
Yes, 3 surgeries. 3
On
surgeries.
that
The
particular-
first one on
Yes.
that day.
Yes.
Then the second one was to shorten the limb.
So that they can fit the prosthetic.
Yes. And then the third one, during the second one, we had complications again. So we went for the third one. Yeah. So there were 3. Yes.
So after that,
Wow.
they do. Obviously, they don't put in the prosthetic immediately.
No,
right? You have
no.
to
It
go and
takes
heal.
Yeah, it has to
So
be.
you left there and went home. Tell us about that experience when you got home.
It was an interesting experience. Actually, I just wanted to go home. Like
A moment. How long were you in hospital before you went home?
2 weeks.
Okay.
2 weeks. And I cheated my way out of the hospital.
How did you cheat your way?
Because for somebody like me to be discharged, you have to be mobile.
Yes.
Yes. And at that time when I was getting discharged, my right arm and my right side was numb. I couldn't feel anything.
And you didn't tell them.
I told them, but I lied that it got better.
Because of over medication?
Yeah, because during the second surgery, the surgery lasted longer than anticipated. And then when we went in for the third one, it lasted 8 hours as opposed to 3 hours. So too much medication administered on the right side, it just numbed the whole arm, even the side. I couldn't feel anything.
Yes.
I heard there's a time they even gave you morphine because of the pain.
Yeah, I was on morphine most of the time in the hospital. I was
If you
happy,
lose your
high.
food.
I was just high. Yeah. So going home, a friend of mine picked me up, and this friend of mine is just crazy. So this is Joe, a friend of mine. He drives a Subaru. Then he comes to pick me up in the hospital. Then we get to the bypass. The bypass was I think opened couple of months. Yes.
Fairly new.
Then we get to the bypass. Then he starts speeding.
And you're
Hey, and I'm just fresh from the hospital. And I'm telling him, Joe, what are you doing? He's like, I'm just trying to get you back to the system. I'm like, no.
that's
Men are quite interesting.
Yeah, so we
Your
get
level of empathy
I would
is
have
low.
downgraded him to an acquaintance.
Yeah, so we got home. I think when we got home and I looked at the house help, the people who were there waiting for me, then it just started sinking. Like, you know what, this is serious.
Oh,
Like-
you could see it on your faces.
I could see in their faces, like people are literally crying. Like my house help, who we were together for, I think 3 years now. At that time, she was literally crying and didn't want to come and look at me. Yes, I was on the wheelchair that time. I could see people's faces, and then I was like, no. So when we got into the house, by the time I left the house, it was just my normal crib. By the time I was getting back, it had been changed, everything. There were rails all over the house to try and assist me when
Was-
I'm walking. Yes. Yeah.
and this is 2 weeks in a hospital. And
2 weeks in the hospital.
Okay.
Yeah. The carpet that was there is not there. There's a wheelchair there. There's a spare wheelchair there. There's actually a seat that you can help yourself. It's literally in the living room.
Your friends and family just went all out.
Kama
Yeah.
ile ajela.
Yes.
Si ajela lazima.
It was just
No,
crazy.
so, you know, in jail you just...
Yes, I know.
Yeah, but it just felt different. It was just traumatizing. Then at that time, I just started having demons in my head. Like, oh man, now what
So
is
that's
this?
when the depression started kicking in, right?
Yes.
Not at that time. I tried to fight. I was like, okay, man. So moments when I was left alone, probably at night when everybody's sleeping, that's when the reality kept checking and just hitting me hard every day, I think. Then 2 weeks from that time when I was home, then I just started rejecting visitors, started rejecting people trying to help me. I even started shouting at people because at that time I couldn't help myself. I couldn't even take myself to the loo. Yeah, literally, my girlfriend had to do all that. Yeah, so 2 weeks from that, I started feeling bitter about everything. I told her, I don't want you to help me anything. I don't want you to do Airbnb.
You were pushing her
Yeah, I
away.
was pushing everybody away. Like I just wanted to be by myself. Guys started telling me, okay, you need to see someone. The narrative you need to see someone was not clear enough. I didn't know why do I need to see someone.
Why do you think?
Yes.
You think I have a problem?
Yes. Do you think I have a problem?
Yeah.
So then that time I tried to research and read about the situation that I was in. The info kind of made things better for a couple of days, then relapsed back again. Yeah, so that was the journey up until I recovered. But going back to the hospital, a regular checkup. I used to go back, I think, every week. Every week. Now, actually, one of the most traumatizing thing that actually got me to depression was the pain. Because the painkillers that I was given to use at home were not strong enough. And every now and then when I kept telling the doctor, they're not working, the doctor kept saying they'll start working. So a couple of days later, they're not working. Then I just decided one day, you know what, I'll overdose myself. Actually, at that time, I was like, you know what, I don't care what happens.
Because
So
you just
I-
want to
yes.
numb that pain.
Yeah, so I was using 75 milligrams of it's called Gabica pregabalin. Then on that day, I took 300 milligrams.
Oh, you actually went ahead and tried to overdose yourself?
Yeah, I overdosed myself. So the first time I overdosed myself, I slept for like 18 hours. Straight. By the time I was waking up, I was happy. There was no pain.
So you were actually high on your
Yeah,
own
I was high on these meds. Yeah, so waking up, just high. Guys were looking at me. They're like, okay.
This is
So-
a new mood?
Yeah, this is a new mood. So they kind of loved the new mood. Even my girlfriend started telling me, "No, you need to take the meds."
Yeah.
And I actually continued taking the overdose.
So did
Oh
people
my word.
know you were overdosing?
No, only my girlfriend.
Okay.
Yeah. So she was like, okay, if this the new mood, this what if overdosing would give you this mood, then go ahead. So I started overdosing myself every day, and then the more I overdosed myself, the more the body became resistant to
the drug.
to the drug. And then couple of weeks later, then pain.
Checks in.
Yeah,
So
pain
even an
checks in
overdose
again.
is not
Yes.
working.
And now the most traumatizing thing is at that time I can't even do anything. I couldn't even sign a check. My right side is dead.
Oh yeah, because you also hurt your
Yes,
shoulder.
And you have been saying you're fine and now you're not fine.
yes. So I can't do anything. I can't transact. I literally can't do anything. I
So now
remember started teaching myself how to write with my left arm.
So you have a problem with your hand, you have a problem with your leg, and
Yes,
the other one is also broken.
Yeah.
Wow.
Everything. Like
Pole.
just everything is messed up. Wow. So I would fast forward, then I got my prosthetic. When I got my prosthetic, I was so eager to go back to my previous life.
Normalcy.
Yeah, forgetting that my previous life wasn't there. Yeah, so I got back on a bike, started riding again.
No, wait.
Was it
before
easy?
Before that, you like how long did it take to learn how to use this prosthetic? Like, is it
So
you?
when I got the prosthetic, the doctors told me that it would take a month for me to get used to using it. It took me a week. It took me a week.
You were so determined.
No, it was not even about being determined. It was running away. Like I'm running away from this mess. I would rather be in pain, but I want to walk.
Oh.
Yes, it wasn't determination. This is running away. I don't want to
you
be on
need-
crutches no more. I'm
want to get out
done.
of
Like
where you
yes,
were.
like I want to wear pants like any other and just walk. That was me. So I did everything possible to just get the prosthetic. And in a week, I was walking. The doctors were like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm okay." I could even try to attempt running. They saw it. They were like,
But were you okay inside?
inside I wasn't okay. Because I was chasing myself. I was pushing myself to get back to the previous life. Yes. Even me trying to get the prosthetic to work and walk, I was trying to see once I could walk and once my right arm could heal, I could get back my previous life.
You wanted
That
to-
was my imagination.
Because it's familiar.
Yeah, it's familiar. And it was what
It's what you were used to
Yeah.
at that particular in
There's
your
something you
past.
said which is powerful, and I'm sure you'll share it when we come back. You said your leg has nothing to do with your intellectual ability.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you're going to share more about that when we come back. We hang out with Bill Kasandas. We're talking about overcoming life's challenges. The conversation is going on on Twitter. The hashtag is adults in the room. Please chime in if you're listening to this story. And also, we're going to open the phone calls 0719-012-600.
I used to love Faith Evans' lips.
Yeah,
Lips. She had luscious lips.
Really?
And then
I used to really look at her lips intently.
She also she also had the complexion for the protection.
Yeah, man. In fact, I used to wonder where Biggie.
Really? No, you're rhyming. No, you're feeling you're rhyming.
I used to wonder where Biggie met such a fine woman.
You know, for you, I know why you're asking about the lips, but that's a story for another day.
Maybe Biggie also had some
Mad lips.
Yeah, he's,
I think it was a union of lips.
Biggie Smalls.
Yeah,
Why was he
man.
calling himself Biggie Smalls?
I have no idea.
I think because of the size.
I know Biggie was because of the size.
Size, yeah.
Smalls, maybe it was just a pun on
Oh, yeah.
his size. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, man. 10 minutes to 9 o'clock.
And yes, a very good evening to you, and thank you so much for joining us. We are the adults in the room, and it's always a delight to have you on board. If you're listening from the great county of Nairobi, we are streaming live on www.co.ke across Africa, actually. And if you're in Nairobi, we are live on 94.9 www.spicefm. Yes, www. I just said www and left.
You said
that is a
www.
shame. So if you want to check us out, remember we're the first radio station to come alive in a visual format. So it's quite an experience, I tell you. Kasanda, you need to check these out. It's actually
checked it out?
really
I
dope.
did.
Eric checks
So
himself out on his phone.
it's www.
I'm not lying.
It's www.spicefm.co.ke. You know, you want to check that out. Check it out. We are live on high definition. It's not just a normal camera. Hizi ni kamera zimepanguzwa.
Hizi kamera unajua msikilizaji, ukisimama utembee kwa studio na kufuata yenyewe.
Ni kweli hakudanganyi jamani, hadanganyi.
Kuna siku Emmanuel alikuja na bra by mistake. Hiyo kamera ilituonyesha
na hatukuwa tunajua amebeba bra. Hatusema ilikuwa ya nani, lakini
pesa imemwagwa kuharibu jina langu.
hiyo siku Emmanuel nilikushangaa sana. You know, by the way, Bill, that's when we learned. Bill, that is the day. I've known this guy for a minute, but that's the day I learned that he cross dresses. Na nikamconfront kabisa hapa kwa corridor. Nikamwambia wewe ni rafiki yangu wa ndani. Nikamconfront nikamwambia hii kitu ya cross dressing ni kitu ungeniambia ndio hata nisishtuke vile kamera ilifanya.
Yes. Nikuanike.
Eric almost fell down on the chair.
Oh my word.
Sorry, just
Imagine.
my name. How do
Money
you
has
come
been
back
poured
from
to
that?
destroy you.
There's no comeback.
There's no comeback on that one. Bill.
Yep.
So let's just go back to the story. We hang out with Bill Kasandas.
Yeah.
We're talking about overcoming life's challenges, and now I think we're on the other side of the valley.
Yes.
The overcoming side.
Yes.
Yes.
I don't know if we are on the overcoming side. We're on the side where now he's gone and he's prosthetic.
Yes.
See, that's the overcoming.
That's
side.
overcoming.
Yes.
Tumetoka mahali ya janga.
Yes.
Sasa
tuone venye tuta overcome hii maneno.
Yeah. And Bill, before you just say what Emmanuel wants to say, I think one of the things you say that is very important, and I think whatever challenge either of us will be going through, I think there's a place for laying a lot of emphasis on feeling your feeling. I think a lot of us deny ourselves that, you know, just realizing that it's okay to feel pain, allowing yourself to be sad or angry or even wail, all right? And feel whichever emotion you're feeling. I think it's an important part of healing.
It's so important. And I remember at that time when I was pushing people away, I was pushing people away because I wanted to be vulnerable with myself. I just wanted to go through the emotion, the whole thing.
Yes.
And I didn't want people to judge me because, you know, if there's something that is so important for a man is creating safe spaces in the boys' club that you have, the people around you. And for me, up until that point, I didn't have safe spaces with my friends. We were just friends. We were friends who were we were bowling, we were just having fun, we were showing off.
Friends for a season.
Yeah, we were just friends for a season. So, but when that experience happened, it just got me off guard. Like there's no one I could actually be vulnerable to.
It's very important you've said that. Just before you came into the studio, the three of us and one of our colleagues who hosts the 3 to 7 show, Monique, we were having a very important conversation about the need for men to creating safe spaces for fellow men. And I'm very passionate about this because as most of us have had life do me in. And sometimes you're thinking to yourself, so who do I turn to? And the danger in turning to men.
Yes.
Because our relationships,
Yes, it's a danger.
our relationships are very peripheral. They're very hapo kando. Tunakunywa wapi? And then when you start talking about the deeper things like bro, maze mama na to be funny, you know, there's a text I saw on our phone and I suspect something. Guys always just resort to, so we go take some shots. That's just as far as it goes.
Give him an extra shot.
Oh yes, you know. So men are sort of, it's hard being a man, for lack of a better term. So I don't know, what are your thoughts about how men would go about creating spaces to discuss whatever it is they're going through with a lot of acceptable vulnerability, so that you don't feel that you need to square your shoulders and act a man. You know, just letting loose and saying, "Nasikia kulia," and then "Nasikia kulia," and then just crying, you know.
For me, one thing I've learned throughout my journey is actually being intentional with your friends. And cultivating friendship with the people who potentially can be your friends. Like, before my accident, it used to be situation friendship. Where, okay, we go to the gym together, we are buddies. You get it? We drink at the same joint, we are buddies. We ride bike together, we are buddies. But we never had something deeper than that.
Yeah.
It was just situation. It was convenience at that time. And at that time, after the experience, I started asking myself, so how do I get that one person that I can be vulnerable to?
Yes.
And I asked myself so many deep, tough questions that I didn't even have answers. I started researching, and it just taught me, one, for me to look for a safe space in a man, I need to be a safe space to that person.
I like that.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
You have to start with the self.
Yeah, you need to be, first of all, before you even walk out, before you even leave the room, you need to be a safe space for yourself. And when I say safe space for yourself, you need to be able to handle the truth as it is. Tell you,
Raw truth.
yes, raw truth. Men, we rarely, we don't look ourselves in the mirror. Yes. Look yourself in the mirror and tell yourself, you know what? Whatever I did is stupid, and Bill, you are stupid. Okay. You are stupid, but you can fix this. Okay. Now, how do we fix this? Then you go to that safe space and talk to somebody about it.
All right.
So it's so important for you as a man being honest with yourself. Yes.
So you become the change you want to see.
Yes.
Oh, you've reminded me just now when you're talking. One time, and I've shared this story here. Forgive me again for being redundant. I was crossing the road somewhere near town, and a bike came from the wrong side, a motorbike. You know these border guys, and he hit me on the hip, and I flew and fell. I was talking to my friend who lives in Nakuru, Shiko, and I could just hear her yelling from like 200 meters on my phone because my phone crashed. It's like, Eric. And this man had a heavy-set woman who fell on me with her mamizigo. So I was there in my fitting jeans trying to chomoa mbogas, because she was some tomato. And my left side was completely off. So I limped to my phone, and cops came. This guy turned and ran away. The borders.
Typical.
And a cop came and said, the woman had broken her hand. It was terrible. And then I'm looking at my phone. So I told Shiko, I'm sorry, I'll call you back. I just got involved in an accident. Then, of course, the cop asked, alikuwa na app? I said, nimempata tu pale. So I'm like, good Lord, everybody's looking at us. A lot of commotion. So I told the cop, can I go? He said, no, it's fine, because there's nothing we can do. So I limp across the road, and I'm looking at my phone and thinking, who can I call? And for the first time in my life, I felt like, good Lord, if God doesn't come through for me, I am, for lack of a better term, screwed. So I'm very choosy about my choices, about people I'm close to. I was just from seeing a friend of mine in Chiromo. He's a lecturer there. And I called Waweru. I said, you won't believe what happened. Very quickly said, go to X, Y, and Z place and tell them to sort you out. They know what to do. And I really appreciated friendship and very sound friendship. You know, not these nonsense for ukipona unishtue
Tukachome nyama.
unataka kula nyama na nyanya.
Cheki, so alienda. So unataka kuniambia atakuwa na app. Cheki.
So
nilikukataza kwenda town.
The reason I appreciate what you've said is that we have to be very intentional. Intentionality has a place.
Intentionality. Chucky, own up.
When are you up?
We'll be back. It's exactly 9 o'clock. We are the adults in the room hanging out with Bill Kasandas and the rest of the usual suspects. Eric, Barbara, and myself, Emmanuel. And we're discussing overcoming life's challenges. And I just want us to get back into the conversation. Eric, you just finish your story.
Yes.
And I'll have Bill chime in.
Yes. So Bill, I was just, as you've heard the story. So, of course, my friend Waweru sent me somewhere. I got medication. And when I was going home, I started thinking about the importance of reevaluating friendships and changing what we value.
Exactly.
Because I had a bunch of my friends on the other side of the road. I know some people in Langata. Now maybe they're there. They sit in some corridor place. And these guys have told tales about claptrap. Unajua udem alikuwa nyanduliwa na nani? Timoli ya udem akaanza kunyanducha li. Yani udem ananyanduliwa. Hey bana. Nilijua udem. Lakini madem makora kwa hatari.
God.
So then I sat down and I told myself, look, there has to be meaning in my relationships, not just so that I am in need. And it's amazing what you said about even reevaluating self.
Yeah.
So I started asking, what value am I giving to people I call my friends?
Yes.
Am I dependable? Now, if I cannot be dependable to you, then I discard you because you are deficit.
True.
So now I employ myself to become a value and an added addition to somebody else who can equally be valuable to me. And it's not about materialism, especially useless materialism.
Yes.
You know, you go to pubs in Westlands, and before you sit down, you can go tear 15 guys. You know, these shoulder nonsense. Hey, bro! Hey, Amos! Buda nimekuona! Wekeni kwa meza! Wekeni, no! Pigeni! Ona! B52 one time. My shot, nakam. Hey, Alice, hi baby. Mwah. How you doing? Hey, Johnny, I'm coming, bro. Hey, you guys! My God!
Changamka, hii place is empty. Jaza hii place zikikam.
Check it, bro. Now to the waiter. Niko na mama, usinishame.
Yes.
Geji kikatika mazee. Fululiza. Sitaki kuona chupa hapa ati mashot vitu ndogo ndogo. Nipige chupa. Unajua back to back. Tuma. Njeve. Baby ni nini?
The things that you've been doing.
Tuma zikifuatana. Bilu usijali. So those are the relationships a lot of us are in. Thankfully I am.
Yes.
So what you're saying is so profound that first evaluate
Yourself.
Yes.
and then the other guys.
Yeah.
And how did that journey go of you evaluating yourself from that space you were in that Eric is talking about of situation friends and now getting to this other place?
For me, it's been, I think, to get to this point where I could actually look myself in the mirror and introspect and reevaluate. It's been a journey. It's been a journey of heartbreaks, of failure, of mistakes here and there. Because
Did you cut out some people?
Yeah.
Or they just went
In
with
fact-
life?
in
So
fact, Doris-
actually, the easiest way, some of these people, there's no basis in some of this friendship. Once you start building value, they just go.
Yes.
You even don't need.
You don't even need to
You
say.
don't need.
Yes.
They just walk. You just see them walking away.
Yes.
And funny enough, you'll be left alone.
Wanajitoa.
Yes.
And then value attracts value.
Yes, you'll be left alone because I can tell you the people who I would say are my friends right now, they are not the people who were friends at that time.
Oh.
Yes, I have new friends. I have friends who are way, way older than me.
Yes.
Yeah, like we sit down and just have a conversation. Somebody will just call, hey, where have you been? Yeah, we just sit and just have a candid conversation about life.
In fact, my curiosity is leading me to ask you this question because we left the story at where you've gotten the prosthetic.
Yes.
You've, in a week you're already walking on it.
Yeah.
Like Avatar. You remember, did you watch Avatar?
Yeah, I
This
watched
guy
it.
entered the body and started running. They're like, hey, why are you running? This guy is a living avatar. So,
By the way, I know someone who calls you a living avatar because of the energy
Yes.
that you have.
between that time and this place where you discovered the aha moment.
Yes.
Like, how did you get between that time to this aha moment? How did it come?
Now, after I got the prosthetic, I was trying so hard to fit in. Like I wanted to get back to my previous life. I never knew that life is not there anymore. So I was trying to do business with the same people who I was dealing with. But at this time, things had changed. They were looking at me differently.
And time had passed.
Time had passed. I was trying to be that person, trying to fit in with their schedule, trying to be available to them because I felt like I needed to catch up. And it was during that time that I actually spent too much money, too much effort, too much energy in just trying to fit in. Like I made so many mistakes. Started businesses that never materialized.
Did you leave? Did you stop working for the NGO?
No, at that time I was still working.
Okay.
But I've always had something else on the side so those things that I had on the side were affected completely. Like they failed. I said all my businesses that were aside, apart from my job, my usual job, they all failed. They all failed. And these are businesses that I was doing with other people.
And they were flourishing before your
Yes,
accident.
they were flourishing before my accident. I was that guy, man.
That-
Yes. Like,
That guy, my guy.
yeah, man. You guy.
Oh, it's you guy, my guy.
You guy, my guy. So at that time, I was trying so hard to fit in the sense that I would go as far as spending any amount of money, go out of my way. Like, I would inconvenience my family, the people who have been there, my relationship with my ex-girlfriend at that time, to try and fit into their schedule, to try and be there for them. So I made just so many mistakes, lost so much money trying to revamp or probably revive businesses that had already died. And they were not actually telling me, let's just move on. They were just watching me.
They couldn't speak to you because you were at that phase in your life?
Yes.
Or you were
I think,
approachable?
now, as a friendship, it wasn't a genuine, candid friendship.
Okay.
We couldn't talk. This is a friendship that flourished on success when things were working out.
Right, good.
So now
And
that
on your good health.
yes, on my good health, and now that things were actually the opposite, there was we didn't know how to converse when we hit rock bottom. We didn't know how to converse.
Had the word disabled already flipped through your mind?
Strangely, it's I actually struggle. That word has never hit me. Like disabled. No. And
I love your spirit.
yeah, the word is. Sometimes even there are people who every time now the people who are very close to me, I try and make fun, try to prank them. Yeah, with my disability, I try to use them sometimes in a good way. Yeah.
Mungu anakuona.
Mungu ndiye alinipatia hii. So we are at that point where we could have just have fun with it. So sometimes I would even go as far as telling them, you know what, nilete food. Asema wewe si amko ndo jiletee food. I'm like, mimi ni kilema. You get it? So those jokes are there. So we are at a point where okay, it's normal. Disability is not it's not a stigma in my circle. It's not a stigma to
Which is a very good thing.
Yeah, so the aha moment. We're getting there.
Yeah.
The aha moment.
Yeah,
Remember?
so after making so many mistakes, like now it was at that time that I lost my girlfriend. At that time I was living with my bro. It was at that time when my relationship with my brother just broke. My relationship even with my colleagues, some of them just broke. Lost everything. Now I was alone. I was alone with nothing. I didn't have money at that time. Yeah. It was at that time then I was like, okay, man, I need to change. Actually, it wasn't just sitting down then I would need to change. It was constant mistakes and trying to refix a mistake, then it hits back. So constant.
So there's a
daily.
repetition.
It was a repetition of mistakes upon mistakes. Just got to a point I was like, I need to stop whatever I'm doing.
You were still having these toys of yours, these bikes.
Yes.
You're still buying them.
Yeah, at that time, yes, I bought another bike. I imported another bike from States, an Aprilia 2012.
I'm
Yeah.
going to assume that is something very nice.
It's
because I'm very
something.
blonde
So
to that area.
okay. If, think of a Ferrari
Okay,
in
fine.
Kenya.
Okay, fine.
Yeah. So
Nice,
yes. So I had these toys in my compound. I had cars I don't even drive. Yeah. I was at that time I bought another car. You get it? I was just trying to be materialistic, trying to
Were
just
you
to
trying
show
to
that
fill up a
testing.
gap in your heart?
Yes, I was trying to fill a gap in me.
And it was not getting filled.
You can't fill it because that's not the right way to fill it up.
You had not accepted your
I
situation.
had not accepted it. I was running away. I was running away with the money that I had. I was running away with the materials that I had. So it was at this point where I was like, I just need to stop. Switched off my phone for almost a week. I wasn't talking to anyone. I was just alone in the house. I'm not washing. I'm just playing PS. I'm not even taking a shower. I'm just
The things men do.
I'm just existing.
Things men do.
Yeah, for like a week. And the sad thing, 1 week later, when I switched back my phone, there were no notifications of people looking for me.
Are you serious?
Yeah. Yes.
There was no message.
That
There are no the calls that were there were people either looking for me because of a job or because of something I need to send somewhere. But the people who I thought were
would look for you.
yeah, they didn't look for me.
That's when you realize.
1 week, then it hit me. It was like, you know what? You are on your own.
Yeah, true.
You are on your own. Then I just, I was not. I never used to read from that time going back. But at that time, I just looked for a book. My girlfriend used to read a lot. So I picked a book that she was reading and I started reading.
Do you think crisis is a good thing?
It's a good thing.
Sometimes,
It's a good thing.
Crisis is a good thing.
Because
a good
even
thing.
me, if I think about, obviously my experience was not as rough as yours, but like after crisis was when
Yes.
I'm like, all right, let me stop. And that's an amazing.
Let
I've
me
even
change.
written I've even written it down. Stop and just grab a book and start reading.
Yes, there's something I heard from these influential people in the world. He said something, by the time you're hitting 25, there's only one thing that can make you pay attention to life or probably the situation. Trauma. By the time you hit 25, nobody can tell you what to do. Especially if you're making your own money, you've got your own space,
Yeah.
you've got your own life.
Yeah.
There's no one who can change
You
you.
feel you're on top of
Literally,
the world.
no one. Not your mom, not your dad, not your friends. No one.
Just good.
Just trauma and God.
I think that's very powerful and it's very relatable to me. My mother was ailing for many years, maybe 7 years on and off from hospital. Not to change the story to the mind, but what would happen is that I was building up a lot of anxiety and becoming very angry because I wanted the situation to change. And then something spectacularly off happened. She had to be retrenched from our company. And look, you're my firstborn son, so let's sort this situation out, right? And here I am trying to, get money and get jobs. And it was very difficult, and I have my siblings in school. So one of the things I did, I tried best I could for a long period of time. And I got to a breaking point. I said, you know what, Mommy, I need to step out. Kidogo too. So what I'm going to do is I had worked in South Africa, so I called a few friends and said, I'm going to go to SA, clear my mind, and then I'll come back. So I went away for maybe 5 months, and then I was called one morning, and my sister said, we've lost her because she was sick. And I came back. She passed on a 1st of September. I came back the following day. And I remember going to the hospital where she was lying, and I asked the lady, when did she pass on? And the lady said, at around 5:45 a.m.
Yeah.
Then I said, where was she lying? She said, here. And I said, so what was happening? So she tried to narrate what was happening, how, she was hyperventilating.
Yeah.
And then I said, so she's in the mortuary now, isn't she? I said, yes. Can I see her? I said, yes, sure. So we went to the mortuary. A friend of mine took me, Raphael, scared stiff of hospitals, let alone mortuary. He was squirming in his car, almost turning around.
Oh,
so I went, and then they pulled up 2 men with beards.
Yeah.
All right? Just and they pulled up. Let me tell that story when you're back after the break.
Yeah, we'll be back. In fact, I felt quite sad telling you.
No, can I give you tissues?
No, you don't need to give me tissues. We'll be back. You don't have to go anywhere. Just hang around. We'll be back. Can we?
No, you can't. Stop it. Just stop it. You're making it sound funny.
No, I was preparing to spit some bars. Spit some bars.
Darling,
man.
just stop it.
20 minutes past 9 o'clock. We are the adults in the room. And Eric, just finish your story, brother.
Oh, yes. So I was telling you, Bill. So I went, and then I was taken to the morgue. And I'm here alone. My friend is coming in the car, and I know he's done all he can do. I know him. Like
he's
every
really
time,
been there for you.
Every time we drive past a hospital, you just see him freeze. Raphael cannot see medicine. Even a chemist, he's just like, ay! So he freezes. So here he is at the parking lot of the mortuary, almost running, but he has to be there for me, right?
Yes.
So then I get in, and these 2 random men. I hear them pulling, those gurneys. Quack, 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 quack.
Yeah.
And these women who is attending, a mortician, just casually says, leteni mwili ya huyo aliletwa jana. And I was just like, good Lord, mwili ya huyo. And then they come, and I'm here in a quiet room. And then 2 men, one with beards, one is a bald-headed guy. He says, Abari, Then I said, Mzuri, then it's a quiet room. So they put it there, open her face, and then they walk out.
They
So
leave
it's
you there.
me here with my mother, who's now dead,
Yeah.
in a quiet room. And I looked at her, and something happened to me that day. I said, this is the person who was responsible for bringing me forth. And this is now the person who cannot hear me. And I said, I must make an impact. I was just like, I will not, like, I don't know. I just got really angry. Do you know what I did?
That was
I
your
did-
aha moment?
I don't know. I wouldn't call it that, but it was just a turnaround about how my thinking and thought patterns and processes.
Okay.
I left. Remember, just flown in. This I was from the airport.
Yeah.
I got into the car. Didn't shed a tear because I was crying all the way from Cape Town to Nairobi. And then I told my friend Raphael, I said, let's just drop me to the bookshop. Can you imagine?
Yeah.
I bought, I think I spent maybe 68,000 bob on books.
Wow.
Huh?
Yes.
You were picking them off the
I
shelf.
picked books and I had like 4 bags full of books.
Unahitaji pesa ya matanga.
It was a maddening experience.
Yes,
Yeah,
I understand.
So I took all these books and then I just went home. And then I started reading. I read so much for 2 years. I was reading back to back to back to back.
Oh, that's how your reading culture started.
No, you wouldn't say that. I was reading, but not with such
Intense,
intensity.
but from that time you
yeah,
picked
so
up.
so the intense. I was just like, I need to know everything I do not know.
Yeah.
I don't know where that came from because here is my mother dead lying there. But I was like, I don't know enough to live the way I'm living. So I need to know everything. I need to know, and then that really turned me around. So I was saying that to answer Emmanuel about how crisis can be a blessing. But when we were during the break, Bill, you said something so profound. You said that self-knowledge is very key, and you also said that very few people care to bother themselves about knowledge of self.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about that.
We live in a very fast, busy world.
Yes.
Yeah, everybody is committed and distracted with everything. So rarely do we actually just pay attention to first ourselves, our intentions, our purpose, and our effect to the people around us. Like just being conscious.
Yes.
Okay, I passed by my house help today. What type of vibe, what type of energy do I spread around? Yeah, I go to work every day. That just being cautious, like being aware of who you are as a person. Yeah, it's just so important.
Yes.
Once you get to that level where you're self-conscious, you discover that there are things that you wouldn't just be part of for the sake of. Yeah, because they don't speak to you. Yeah.
Also, what I find important about what you've said is that upon knowing yourself, then you would know what to consent.
Yes.
But if you don't know
know
yourself,
yourself,
any road can lead you
anywhere.
And you can get yourself into anything.
Yeah. So that's very powerful. That's very powerful. Emmanuel, you want to cry?
Emmanuel was Eric, you were not supposed to shout about that. You're supposed to whisper. And I was telling you, shh.
My word.
Bill, let me ask, how is your social life, or how was your social life after? Or how is it currently? With now you have your prosthetic.
So
Yes.
right now, that at that time.
Remember your girlfriend left?
Yeah.
Especially from the moment when now you're into the books.
Yes, your social life and your family life, because you mentioned.
Did you have to rebuild it? Is that what you're asking, Barbara?
No, I'm not asking that. No, I'm not asking about rebuilding that. I realized you say that the ties between your brother, you cut ties.
Yes.
Yeah, the relationship failed.
Yes.
And remember, you pushed away your girlfriend,
Yeah.
among other things that happened to your life.
Yeah.
So how did you get to, let's use Emmanuel's word, rebuild your social life? But what I'm asking also is, how did you get back to your social life? Because the reason I'm asking why you get back to your social life, as I said earlier, we were trolling you just to find out more information about you. And I noticed you're very active outside there. You are mentoring people. You're talking about mental health in men. You are getting interviews. You are climbing mountains.
Thank you.
So I feel like your social life is out there. How did you get back there? And you're back into riding bikes.
Yeah. So at that time, when I started reading, then I just discovered, you know what? as much as I was Mad Max racing, trying to be somebody, I know nothing.
So Mad Max had to just take.
Yeah,
a pause.
you just need to chill there. When I started, I think at that time I read a book. I can't remember, but the first book I read just proved to me that I didn't know anything. The amount of knowledge that was just there was just shocking. I was like, you know what? I just need to chill. Then I challenged myself to try and implement, or probably put the knowledge into action. Yeah. So the things that I read, like in terms of, the friendship, the connections that you have with your family. At that time, I was a yes man. I was a yes man. Then the book that I read at that time told me so much about how I need to take care of myself and how I have power upon myself. I just don't need to allow anybody to have a voice into my life.
Yes.
Be it people who you are related to, be it your friends, be it your family, be it your siblings. They don't have to have a voice in your life because they are so and so.
Because even if it's your husband or your wife.
Even if it's your husband and your wife. Yes. So at that time I was like, what? I've been allowing my parents, my siblings, my friends to tell me what to do for a long time. Then at that time I was like, you know what? Now that they are not here, and this is not a moment where they would worry so much about me.
Yes.
I just need to start rebuilding boundaries. Yeah. Then at that time, actually, I had a little bit of issue with my brother because my brother used to actually take my toys and go with them wherever he wants and just never ask for them. He never felt guilty doing that.
It's a sibling thing.
Yeah, it's a sibling thing. So at that time, I actually just called him. I was like, you know what? From today, A, B, and C can't work. He actually thought it's a joke. And then a couple of days later, he did it. I actually got cops. Yeah, I got cops to arrest him. Yeah, and I just wanted to drive point home. I'm not doing this because I hate you. Probably I have issues with you. I'm just trying. Yes, the rules have changed.
Let's set boundaries.
Yes, let's set boundaries.
You know, Bill, one of the things I've come to learn, I'm a reader.
Yeah.
It's not so much what you get from the books.
Yes.
It's what the books bring out of you.
Out of you.
Yeah. So I think the power of reading is often not talked so much about in this side of the world.
Yes.
But it has the ability to make you dig deeper
Yes.
within your reservoir.
Within yourself.
Yes. And it's very important to read.
Yes.
Very, very important to read.
Yeah. So that's what happened to me. So I started building new values, new habits. At that time, my girlfriend was not in the picture. I didn't even understand what I would give or offer her as a boyfriend. I thought because I had the toys, I had the money, I can take care of a kid, she was okay to be with me. But I wasn't giving her the time, the love, the attention, the affection.
You are not in the right space to be anyone's man.
Yes, to be in a relationship.
Yes.
Even getting to a point where I'm like, yes, I'm not ready for a relationship at this point.
And it takes a lot for a man actually to say that, because I feel majority of men are out here, not some, not all, sometimes get into relationships or situationships just like that. You are not in a financial space or emotional space or even physically present to be there. But you just want to get involved with a woman.
It's a big problem currently. And you just see the amount of issues that are in relationship currently. People... Everybody has either insecurities or unmet needs.
Yes.
So imagine yourself getting yourself in a relationship with somebody who has either insecurity or unmet need.
That's nice.
You will have to take care of that insecurity for the rest of your life. Potentially that means you can kill yourself trying to take care of that need. It's so dangerous. It's that bad. I've been in that space. I dated somebody who used to take care of my insecurity. Yeah, I've been there.
Which is bad because
It's so bad.
because you're not a toddler. I'm sorry to say that.
It's
Or a child.
it's so bad. And now at that time, being alone, I actually had the courage to just look at myself. These are my insecurities.
Absolutely.
These are my unmet needs.
Yes.
I need to take care of these things before I even do anything.
We need Kasandas part 2. This time is not enough. Easy Masa, has it touched? 0719012600. We have half an hour with this brother. You can call in and share what you think. If you have a question, if you have a comment, I'm enjoying the show right here. You decided to. I'm waiting for your phone calls as I talk. And I'm seeing the deck is already lighting up.
Bill, there's someone called George Nakamba. He says, say hi to my homeboy.
George Nakamba.
Nakamba.
Okay. Hey.
I hope you guys are nasty.
Let's get into the phone calls. Spice FM. Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
Yeah, I'm George.
Hey, hi, George.
I'm fine.
Do you have a question for our guest?
Of course, I have a question.
Yes, go ahead.
Did he find it hard, or did he blame himself for the accident that he had?
Yeah. That's the only question you have.
Yes, he
Okay, cool. So at some moment, yeah, there's a point where I blamed myself, especially when things were not working out, when I was making constant mistakes here and there. I blamed myself. But furthermore, I even went ahead and started blaming people around me. Then I just had to get to a point where I was like, it's not healthy, it's not working, it's not the right thing. Yeah.
Have you read David Goggins, Can't Hurt Me?
Yeah.
You're reminding me of that, brother, man. Let's talk to someone else. Spice FM, hello.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi, so this is Silva from Kisumu.
Karibu sana. Do you have a question?
No, I don't have a question. My point is,
Yes.
okay, I'm going through his situation. Yeah, hata mimi nilikata mguu na it is very difficult to get into that point.
Yeah.
Yeah, ni ngumu sana cause hiyo depression bado niko nayo and all that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I guess Susie needs a word from you, brother.
One thing I can tell her is she needs to accept one of the biggest challenges. One of the biggest causes of disability is depression. That should tell you something. Disability is not something physical. It's something mental. You accepting your situation is the best gift you can ever give yourself. Because I keep saying this, life happens. Things will happen, whether you like it or whether you don't. You just need to ask yourself, is it permanent or is it temporary? If it's temporary, ask yourself, what can I do to change the situation? Do that thing. If it's permanent, my brother, my sister, tell yourself it's going to live with you for the rest of your life. Accept it and move on. The biggest mistake I did, I was trying to live the past life that I had. She needs to start writing a new book. There is no past. This is a new life. This is a new chapter. So the reason why she's having it so difficult, she's trying to either compare herself to the previous person she was, trying to fit in to who she was before. It can never happen. She can literally kill herself trying to do that. It can never happen. It's a new chapter. She needs to accept herself. She needs to start writing her own book.
You've heard it.
Also, Emmanuel, it is once said by the wise that happiness requires accepting who you are and where you are.
Yes.
0719012600. I'm picking up your phone calls. We have our guest for now. 25 more minutes. So you have to dash to your phone if you want to talk to this brother. Spice FM, hello.
Hello, Spice.
Hello, sir.
Yeah. Hello.
Yeah, go ahead, brother. We can hear you loud and clear.
I'm Joseph from Kitale.
Go ahead, Joseph. think Joseph was just saying hi, man. Umesalamika.
Nimesalimika.
Unajua watu wa Kitale na salamu wako hivi.
Joseph alikuwa anatuma salamu. Let's hear what Charles has to say today. Charles.
Hello, good evening, guys.
Good evening, brother. How are you doing?
I'm doing fine for a long time.
Yeah, long time no see. You have a question or comment?
The line is so jammed with me, but we're trying to get it.
It is jammed.
Yeah. Today I don't have any question on, but I want just to commend my brother.
Hello.
Yeah, I always commend when just like I called early when Monique was in the station.
Yes.
The other guy, I told him one thing that has made us good and different from other stations is, in Spice FM, we talk about our real experience in life. Eric always talked about his past relationship. We always talk about, and that is one important thing, the impact that it gives out there. People get changed and people accept who they are and they start to move on. It is the most important. It's not about calling the station or having stories. It's about who we impact us there positively.
Wow.
And to Barbara Hongera and Eric Emmanuel Kongole, and to us, Spice FM family, Pongezi.
Asante.
Kasandas.
That is one of the biggest friends and part of this family.
Wow.
He's Charles from Homa Bay.
Wow, yeah.
He's one of the guys who sits on that chair. There are many.
Yeah.
Our people.
Let's talk to Amanda. Hi, Amanda.
Hi, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
Yeah, I just caught you guys halfway when I was heading home, actually.
Thank you for tuning in.
Thank you.
Yeah, Bill is such an inspiration. You know, I came across him, like, on Facebook, because I follow a couple of Facebook pages on motorcyclists, and he's very inspiring. So my question is to him, what gives him the zeal every day to be the change? Because I have a tattoo inscribed, and it's "Be the change you wish to see in this world." So what's his zeal?
Wow, okay, cool. For me, I'm at a point in life where what I want to achieve is so visible to me every day. So every time I wake up, I also go through challenges like any other. Like there are days I just don't feel like doing anything or probably being anywhere.
Or
but
going
I just
to any show.
or going to except Spice. I keep reminding myself like there's something in front of me. I just keep reminding myself of that one thing that I want to achieve. And by the time I get so close to it, then it moves far away from me. So it's a constant. It's a lifelong chase. Yeah.
Do you have a vision board?
I do. I do. Yeah.
Let's the calls are still coming in. 0719012600. We have how many more minutes, Barbara, with our brother?
We have exactly 19 minutes to the top of the hour.
Wow. 19 minutes, Barbara.
Or for the break or
21 minutes. Umehata two minutes.
You guys are funny.
Look at the clock. Emmanuel, you just want to be naughty.
We are wasting time talking instead of picking calls. Let's go ahead and pick calls.
It's actually almost not 20.
Hello, sir. Hello.
He's reversing.
That guy is reversing.
Let's talk to Collins. Hey, what's up, Collins?
Yes, guys. Hi.
How are you?
I'm good.
How are you today, my darling?
I'm good. Wait. Barbara.
Salama sana. Do you have a question for our guest or any comment?
No question. I have a comment. First, I have an input. The first thing you're going to do to overcome your life challenges is to feel the feelings. Be sad, cry out, and after crying out, things are going to be okay. Number two, you have to make a plan and accept that you're not alone. People always think that when they go through life tribulations, it is them that these things hit. somebody can tell you a story until that becomes a console. Like, for an example, you walk into an hospital, you are going for a malaria test, and you get somebody with a card of a 90% in the body. What do? You say that, let me go home.
Yeah.
Just because somebody's suffering is more than what you thought.
Yeah.
So, but I'm learning something from Brother Kasandas.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we must become so alone, so utterly alone that we can be able to withdraw into our inner self, because it is the only way of bitter suffering. If you want to hide something from an African, put it in writing. You know, one of the best consolers in this world is the book.
Yes, yeah.
So once you read the book and you know you've accepted that you're not the one suffering, number two, you felt the feeling, you are accepting. No, and don't expect somebody's support, because, you know, Kasana was saying that he was expecting some people to console with him. Kuna mtu kama huyo, unampigia tu na mtu anakuja na mwambia ati kuna kazi. So don't expect that to happen. No. But lastly,
Collins, your lastly, sasa
Simwili
lastly. Collins. But we appreciate you, Collins.
Yeah, he has said something very, very important in life. Living a life of not expecting.
Yes.
Sometimes we disappoint ourselves because we expect too much.
Yes.
From everyone around us. Like, I've walked in here, I feel I'm expecting you guys to treat me in a certain way. One of the things that I think makes me who I am, I just live a life of not expecting. The lady who came to pick me up, I interacted with her. I didn't have expectation. We have a conversation. I check up on how you're doing. You love the job. We have a conversation. Something with that. You be there in that space at that time. Live in the now. Forget about the future. Forget about the past for a second. So live a life of just not expecting too much.
Expectation breeds disappointments.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's see if we can squeeze this call into a minute. Spice FM, hello.
Hello, Spice.
Hi, you have a minute. Do you have a question for our guest?
I think I have a comment.
Yes.
Hi, Barbara.
Hi, dear. How are you?
Thank you. You're so silent when I call now, right?
Oh, because I was giving you time because you had a minute.
So, Bill's story is so inspiring. I know what it takes for, like, for example, seeing your life crash right on your face, you know.
Yeah.
Like, even me, sometime back, I got burnt inside the house. My gas just blew from hell knows where.
Wow.
And it is stains on burns. So, you know, getting outdoors at times got tricky because you don't want to show the world the new you that they have to accept. And first of all, you haven't even accepted it yourself.
True.
So it's terrible. I know what Bill. I can't say no per se, but I can repeat. You know.
Yes.
But Bill was such an inspiration to many. You know, this thing comes when you least expect it. And when there's a force that can at least try to tell you what is coming by, then it's kudos. It's thumbs up all the way. Otherwise, I'm a fan forever and ever.
What's your name, by the way?
My name is Marvin from Kisumu.
All
Thank you, darling, and keep it spice.
Yeah.
Okay, Eric ni sawa.
Anajifanya hajui kuongea.
Nilikuwa nakusikiza, imagine.
Eric ni sawa. Umesikia ni sawa. We hang out with Bill Kasandas, and we're having a very inspirational conversation right here in the studio.